Today I would like to discuss specifically why there's so many martial arts instruction videos that I've been uploading to my onto my YouTube channel. Basically, as a huge, well, maybe not a huge part, but a key factor in me doing that is self-empowerment. I'm very much about self-empowerment, and to that end, I want to empower those to be able to defend themselves in the event of them being attacked violently. Okay, let me start by saying that as a general rule of thumb, I'm actually a non-violent pacifist. So one would think that I would, encourage something like Tai Chi, which for health reasons would be good, and maybe if you're dealing with some weak ass motherfucker who don't know what they're doing. But here's the thing, you can't always rely on those circumstances in an actual street fight. I mean, if you're in an actual street fight, if you're like walking home and some dude decides to sucker punch you, I mean, you're just better off learning off something like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai, which is why I've been posting those videos up on my channel. Now, throughout the ages, there have been a great many of warriors who were very spiritual. Joan of Arc, for example, led an army of her own, and she was a very devout Catholic. Of course, at the time, she was flying in the face of things because back then women weren't allowed to be in military, so she kind of had to be a little manipulative. But by the end of the day, she was deeply devoted to her Catholicism, a religion, and she was a successful war general. Genghis Khan is another military leader. He was best known for his military prowess more than his spiritual, but he believed in the big blue sky. In comparison to Joan of Arc from a while ago, Genghis Khan, like I said, was more known for his military prowess, but at least from what I can remember in history class back in school. But he was very spiritual. George Washington, an early military general who became president, he was very much into his spirituality. He of course became president, but there's been a number of presidents who are also war generals themselves. In fact, martial arts, in some respects, has their roots in religion. You have Thailand, Muay Thai, Kush Thai, which is from India. Kung Fu, it's got its start in the Shaolin temples of China. And there's a great deal in every culture. There's bound to be, like in the Native Americans, you have, they have their warriors, and these warriors are very much into their spirituality. Now, it begs the question of where I'm going with all this. Essentially, what I'm going for on my channel currently is making available a variety of instructional videos on martial arts, particularly the ones that I'm interested in. Make it available and accessible to everyone to study the same shit that I'm studying. in martial arts. Privately, I'm planning on, as I go through my research, uh, I plan to forge my own form of martial arts that I'm currently calling Jin Jitsu. Jen as in shorthand for Jennifer, which is the female name of my male name. I've got a girl side, I'm non-binary. And then Fu as in Kung Fu, because apparently I'm into Bruce Lee. He's the one that, brought martial arts. He's the one that laid the groundwork for what's now called MMA. Because I'm a fan of Bruce Lee, and he started out in with Wing Chun, which is a form of Kung Fu, and not much of Wing Chun myself. And then Jitsu. I was initially interested in Bodojo Jiu-Jitsu, which I later dropped through my research. And then eventually got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's where the name came from my still being developed system. Okay, now initially I was going to post this as my Sunday morning sermon, starting the Sunday after I make this clip or video, whatever. A couple of problems. One, I'm basically doing this like the old school podcast style, which I'd imagine would be more of a Wednesday night thing or a Sunday evening thing. Yeah, that's another thing. It's, like Wednesday nights podcast time, podcast style. Sunday morning is going to have me, my face, and, in the, ministering, giving a Sunday morning sermon. And then Sunday evenings I haven't quite figured out. And besides, I kind of wanting my friend Brandon over. He's treasurer of the church and a board member. Haven't found anyone else to help. I asked Brandon to look around for a couple of more people. One to do secretarial duties and the other doing basically, second in command on the board. I'll be president of the board of the church, and then the other person be vice president. At any point in time I'm not able to attend the board meeting, either in video chat or otherwise. God forbid I'm in a coma, for example. That guy, he pretty much will step up to the day-to-day operations of, see to it that, supervising everybody and everything. And my friend Brandon, he'll be like the assistant minister until something better comes up. And then, I also realized I really didn't have much to say on this one point. I thought I would have more to say, but yeah, the first thing I want to do, now that I mentioned it, is file paperwork with the, government, to get tax exempt status, so all your donations will be tax exempt. And, but yeah, that's really about it, hopefully, by the start of this coming Sunday after I post this, my friend Brandon will be here to help ministering to you people. I think you guys will like Brandon. He's a good guy. He's got some interesting ideas. I won't go into details because I haven't really asked him about it. And I don't even know if he's even thought about, doing sermons. But I'll talk to Brandon, and, because, if he's going to help me with this, he's going to have to pick up his weight, And him and I talked about that, and, he's got a life of his own, and, life can be complicated, and, and I won't go into details, but one thing in his life is he's struggling with some legal issues. And he's hoping to get probation off it. I mean, it's a misdemeanor charge, so the repercussions can't be that bad. Not like it would be if it was a felony. But yeah, he seems to think he's going to get probation on this misdemeanor charge he got. But yeah, I'll talk to Brandon and have him come up with some ideas for some sermons that he can teach on once in a while. And the way, now that I'm thinking about it, I could probably handle Sunday morning sermons, Sunday morning services, because I am considered in the church the head minister, because, I'm the one that's starting it, so why not? And Brandon could be like the assistant minister, I'll let him handle Tuesday night, not Tuesday night, but Sunday evening services, and then on Wednesday, Sam and I can kind of tag team the Bible stuff, or the Wednesday night services, like the podcast that I intend to put up every Wednesday night, and hopefully, I got like this small apartment, but maybe I can squeeze a small handful of people in here, and we could just sit here and chat about religion, for about 45 minutes to an hour on a given service, Yeah, this video is getting pretty long. I considered waiting to see until I could get Brendan over here to put in a few words, but I figured I said enough, and, I give you guys a pretty good idea of what my plans are. A taste, a sample of, where I'm going with all this, yeah, for now, enjoy the martial arts instructional videos, and what few tidbits like this when you guys can have and manage to, work through. I don't know what I'll post is, but, just, whenever I can get around to doing it. Well, that just about does her. Y'all, take her easy, stay frosty, and God bless. Until next time, we meet again.